What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast Sports. Thank you all for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, ring that bell, let us know what we're talking about. And if you like it or if you don't like it, leave a comment down below. Follow us on Twitter. We're right here. All right, we're right here. All right, well, thank you again for joining us. As always, to the left of me, my boy John. And as always, to my right of me, my boy Will. Either of you guys got anything to say to the people?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Nothing? And then as always, behind us as well, over off to the side, is our boy Ryan. Ryan, you got anything to say to the people?
Hi.
Wow. Electrifying stuff from us today. Well, I have some things to say. Masters week and opening week is upon us. As you can see, we're all wearing our baseball garb. Astros, Reds, Guardians, you know how it is. We're repping strong. We're repping strong opening week and Masters week. What an electrifying weekend of sports we have coming up for us. Is Tiger back? We'll get to that. Who's going to be the favorites to win it all for the MLB? We'll get to that. So stick around, hang out with us. We really do appreciate it. And let's get to the show. First things first, I feel like it was a quick thing that we got to bring up. The NFL has officially guaranteed, in postseason only, not in regular season, each team gets a chance at a possession for overtime. How long has this been coming up? Like this, I feel like this should have happened years ago.
I think it's definitely, people have been calling for it forever and ever and ever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happened with the Bills-Chiefs game was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. And we were like, okay, we can't end games like this.
Right. Which I think is weird because the Chiefs and the Pats game should have been the one done it.
And
Was
you
it
also
3 years ago or 4 years ago?
and the Falcons-Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah.
too.
Same. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's even more because that was actually the Super Bowl, too. So I just can't believe it's taken as long as it has. I mean, I'm happy about it. I would like to see it, eventually transition to the regular season. I feel like people aren't playing like, all these NFL games are too long. Like,
Yeah. I
who
think
cares for an extra possession?
I think a good way to combat that would be to just have this overtime where you get the rebuttal.
Yeah.
And then if it continues to another period, maybe do the college overtime where you got
2-point conversions.
Not the current college football
Okay.
overtime, but like the overtime from like 2 years ago.
Which was
Have
what?
that. It was you get the ball to 25.
Yeah, it's 25. Okay.
And you have to go for 2 after the third overtime.
Try or something like that.
But there's no 2-point conversions after that. I hate that about college football.
See, I don't hate it or don't dislike it either. I'm impartial either way because at the end of the day, the same results are probably going to happen. I mean, I think the 20 is. I think it enforces the fact that you need to make a play and like you dig into that bag of creative. But I'm just excited that they finally got rid of it and they finally gave it to a much more broader spectrum of like Will said. I think when we saw Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen duking it out and it being decided basically by a coin flip, and then deciding almost the same thing against the Chiefs and the Bengals.
Bengals, yeah.
But somebody said it best. It's like if you're celebrating winning a coin flip more than you are potentially going into overtime, I think that shows that there's a problem with the rule. So I'm glad. And hey, shout out the Colts. The Colts were the team to first position to petition the change, and then I think the Seahawks were the ones that petitioned like this specific one that they adopted. So
Did you hear that, guys?
shout out the Colts, guys.
Wow, did you hear that, guys? The Colts were did the Colts get it passed?
The
No.
Colts didn't get it passed. They did not. I think
Wow.
I can't remember what their rule
Well,
was.
congrats, Jim Irsay. Congratulations, Jim Irsay.
Hey, we signed the wrong Chiefs safety today, so that's really exciting. Really preferred to
On
be
accident?
no, like I really wanted like Tyrann Mathieu to still sign with the Colts, but we signed like the another Chiefs safety, so it's cool. It's whatever. But so that's like a little tidbit from the NFL. I feel like, and that was just a good thing to like touch base on. But moving to the NBA, the season is officially wrapping up. I think this is the last week, like full week of games, full week of figuring out who's in, who's out. So some exciting stuff's kind of happening. Kyrie was cleared to play in Brooklyn in home games last week. Has played a few games at home. Hasn't looked stellar. Has looked pretty honestly average compared. But now that he's free to play at home games, the Nets don't necessarily have to worry about having to coach around and play around his availability at home. They actually have, that full bolstered roster. And now Ben Simmons is sitting out for the rest of the season. But does Kyrie being able to play for the Nets now, does that put him in that contenders category? Or does that still put him in that pretenders category? Because assuming he played this entire season, I'm sure that the Nets wouldn't be fighting for a playing game right now.
I do not think this makes them contenders. Just doing the pick'ems every week, I would like be, oh, okay, are the Nets at home? Are they away?
Mhm.
I'd be like, okay, they're away, so I'd pick them to win. They just always lost.
Yeah.
Kyrie's just okay. I think only playing half the season kind of hurt him a little bit.
And I think you're
especially
seeing
Net.
that now.
Yeah, and I think just the Nets in general have been hurting from it. So I think they'll make the play-in tournament, but I don't think they even come out of it. I think they're one of the two teams that make the play-in tournament but lose.
But lose. Okay. What do you think? Contenders, pretenders? What do we got?
I mean, I think I don't want the Cavs playing them in a 7-game series. I'll say that. I don't want the my team to have to play, Kyrie in the playoffs. I mean, his numbers have sort of, leveled out a little bit because he did have that week where he had like 50-point game and a
46. Yeah, like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going for 25, shooting 40% from the field and 41% from three. I mean, he's playing well, but the Nets are only 2-4 since he came back. So I just think Kyrie helps them out, but as a whole, all that time gone, there's like still no chemistry there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will play itself out. But
Just like last year, right? I mean, we kind of saw that last year. The lack of games that James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin played proved to be a problem in the playoffs.
Now, you're not going to talk me off Kyrie being a dog in the playoffs. So, when he's back in the playoffs, like, do the Raptors still have their, like, Toronto still has their COVID vaccine thing, right?
They have full stadiums now. So I don't know.
But I think you have to, because
I didn't think of that.
I know the 76ers said that all their team was vaccinated, and the Boston Celtics declined to answer.
Ooh.
Now, if the Nets have to go play in Toronto,
that could be an issue.
that could be an issue for a lot of teams, specifically Kyrie, though, just because the big hubbub and the Nets kind of not being that good without him. So something to think about. But anyways, I think the Nets are a little bit better than they were before, but still kind of where they deserve to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think for my quick takeaway or my point of it is that I think the biggest thing that all what you see in playoffs is chemistry and the ability to play good defense. And like when Kyrie plays and when the Nets are hitting on all cylinders, they're like the highest offensive efficiency rated team, but they're also the worst defensive efficient, like allowing like almost 110 or 120 points per game on them. So if they're not outscoring teams, they're just getting crushed. So I think the problem is like, oh yeah, you have an elite scorer on your team, but everybody knows Kyrie's not a good defender. He's I would say below average or just right around average. He can play defensive possession when you need him to, I guess. Maybe
he can give you like
one
solid defensive possession where I think most of the time anybody his size, he can guard anybody for one possession.
Yeah.
But he can't keep doing it. I don't know
if he wants to,
if he doesn't just feel like it, because he's so focused on offense. I have seen him defend elite offensive guards before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, he did great against Steph Curry in 2016, and he did great against a lot of other guards.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know.
But I think that is something to think about, because if Kyrie doesn't drop 40 and Kevin Durant doesn't drop 40 as well, it's like the Nets are like in a real pickle there, because like you said, whoever they play is going to drop 90 points easily.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a cause for concern there. I mean,
yeah, and I did look it up, so it is still an issue with Toronto. So that will be an issue for this whoever.
Where does that put him? I mean, Toronto. I mean, the Eastern standings right now. I mean, Toronto is.
They actually probably would never have to play. Or wait, no, I don't, because honestly, I don't know how the play-in thing works.
Okay, so the play-in thing, for those that don't know, and for you now, is 8 through 11 playing a play-in game.
Oh,
right. So
7 through 10.
7 through 10 does.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 through 10, not 8 through 11. Yeah. I'm sorry. So 7 through 10. So 7 will play 8. No, 9 will play 10. Right?
Or 8 will play 9, 7 will play 10.
7 will play 10.
Okay.
If 10 wins, then 7 has to play the winner of whoever the Hawks Hornets is as of right now. And it's like whoever loses that game is done. Because it's like the lower of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have, basically the way it looks at it is like if you're the higher seed, you have a chance of, you have to lose twice to be bounced. So like the Lakers played the Warriors last year in the play-in game. LeBron and the Lakers won, so they were the 7 seed and went and played the Suns. And then the Warriors lost again in the play-in game, and they were bounced out. And it was like the Grizzlies or something. It was like the 8 seed against the Jazz or whatever.
Sure.
Why
So
did they do that? Why did they start this? Just because they?
I mean,
like
I think the playing tournament
Probably
is a
for
good idea.
tanking, I don't know.
Is a good idea, but the way that they have it set up is terrible. And that's what LeBron said. Like a lot of people gave LeBron flack because he was saying that they should be a playing one. And then when he came back and was like, this playing thing's stupid, everyone was like, well, you wanted it in the first place. And I don't think he wanted this type of playing. I think it's one of those ones where
it's
the
just,
the East is a really good,
It's just, like,
yeah,
confusing.
super
And
confusing.
the NBA was already having issues of teams under 500 making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And this just ruined that entire issue.
Yes, it does. I think it does for
20 out of
For
30
whatever-
teams making the playoffs is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
not only that, but the fact is that I think it does help when you have a conference like the East this year, where all these teams are solid. Like 1 through 10 is like solid teams that could play. And the Nets are 2 games above 500, but
Yeah.
the Nets aren't scrubs.
That's true.
Charlotte is also not scrubs. Like they can play basketball and they can play it well. Now, if you look at the West, it's like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
the Clippers are already under 500, and they're the 8th seed, so they would have made the playoffs normally.
Yeah, if the season ended right now,
yeah.
the Clippers would be making the playoffs. So I think that it's one of those ones where the reason they started this is like, you remember 2 or 3 years ago where the West was completely stacked and it was like the final week of the season spots, I think it was like seeds 6 through like 10 were all decided by the last 2 games of the year. And I think that's what they were trying to combat is like, well, it's not very fair that these teams in the East that can be, 35 and whatever, or 40 and 42 and still make the playoffs when we're over here fighting for our lives. And yes, we're just above 500, or even we're like 5 or 10 wins above 500, but we're still getting bounced from the playoffs because everyone above us is so much better or has more wins. I think that's what they're trying to combat. And I think the East is a good look at that for this year. Because like I said, outside of, to me, the best 2 teams in the East right now are the Heat and the Celtics, playing defensively and offensively. But like the Bucks through the Cavs, if you catch the Cavs with Jarrett Allen coming back potentially, and you get Mobley and you get they get their length back and they get healthy. Like the Cavs are no scrub. Like they're going to be a tough series to play. The Raptors have won I think they're like 10 of their last 12 games. Like they're on fire right
Raptors
now.
are
And
hot.
Scotty Barnes is playing out of his mind as a rookie. He's the only rookie right now that has 1,000 points and like 500 rebounds, 500 plus rebounds. So, these guys aren't scrubs over here. So I think that's what they were trying to do with the whole playing game. I think they set it up poorly, and I think they made it much more confusing. Yes, I do agree with you on that, but I think that's what they were trying. I think that was their mindset and what the idea of it was. But at the end of the day, I think that the Nets are still stuck in that, to kind of reiterate what we were talking about originally, are stuck in that. We are maybe one piece away from being legit. Is that piece Ben Simmons? I don't know. He's
No.
obviously not playing this year. Joe Harris has been injured all year. I just don't think they have the depth. So I think they're pretenders. Whether Kyrie's there or not, I think their defense is gonna hold them back more than it's gonna help them. So, but speaking of the Nets, kind of transitioning here as well. Speaking of the playing as well, the Nets and the Lakers basically have to continue to win these close games to make even the play-in. Like the Nets are the 10 spot right now. The Knicks are 5 games behind them. So the likelihood of the Nets making the playoffs, very high.
Yeah.
Right? Or the play-in, not necessarily the playoffs, but the play-in. Lakers, on the other hand, are 2 games behind the Spurs, and the Spurs hold the tiebreaker. So if the Spurs win tonight and the Lakers lose tonight, the Lakers will be officially eliminated from all playoff contention.
Yeah.
So the importance of the Lakers playing right now and winning out is incredibly high. And the Spurs even losing, a few of those games, which they could do. Spurs aren't great. But basically what I'm saying is, do we see either of these teams make it out of the play-in or even make the playoffs? I mean, the Nets are pretty much going to be basically in the play-in tournament. But do we see the Lakers make the playoffs here?
No. So I originally came in here thinking, I think LeBron can pull out a game or 2. But looking at their schedule, they play the Suns, they play the Warriors, which I guess Steph's out. So you got Suns, Warriors, Thunder, who are kind of bad, and then the Nuggets, who Nuggets could be fighting for some positioning there too. So I don't even think the Lakers make it.
I mean, the Nuggets right now are the 5 seed, right? So
Nuggets are 5.
They're the 5 seed. So they're basically playing for, do they want home court advantage against the 6 seed, or they want to be the 6 seed, right? So I think that you bring a good point. They might be fighting for that. Hey, let's keep these games in Denver as much as possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree with you. I think the Lakers are struggling here. Now, I think the one thing that benefits the Lakers is, okay, the Suns have already locked up the 1 seed through the entire NBA season.
That is
so
true.
they have home court advantage through the entire playoffs. All right, cool. So they might sit a bunch of guys. Booker, Chris Paul, all those guys.
Yeah.
Then you look at the Warriors, who have already locked up their playoff spot. They are not looking great without Steph in general. So, that could be kind of a toss-up. Thunder, terrible. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Thunder's terrible.
Thunder are bad.
And then the last
Bad
game, the Thunders were. And who's the last game?
Nuggets.
And the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets will be their hardest game.
Yeah. Definitely another 4.
So I could see the Lakers winning out, but I think the problem is that it's not in the Lakers' hands anymore. They have to rely on the Spurs to continue to lose, or the Pelicans basically to lose out, which would be, really hard for the Pelicans to lose 4 or 5 straight. Like, that's just hard for any team to do. But do you think, Lakers miss the playoffs here?
Lakers are missing the playoffs. The Lakers, I don't see them pulling out any of these wins. But not to. I mean, the Lakers are terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful. Frank Vogel's going to get fired. I think, honestly, you know what I think? Even if the Lakers maybe they find themselves in a close game, this Lakers team, these players, besides LeBron, well, they can't pull it out. These Lakers teams, besides LeBron, they do not care. They do not care because they know the team sucks. They know Frank Vogel's gone. What is the point? I mean, these are pro players. They're getting paid millions of dollars, playing on a very, very bad team that just so happens to have the greatest player of all time on it. That's it. That's all it is. There's nothing else to it. So these Lakers players, a lot of them are probably checked out. They don't care. They're not going to try that hard. They're certainly not going to try very hard against the Suns because they'll get whooped. They're not going to try very hard against the Nuggets because the Nuggets are out for blood. Just because they're fighting for their life right now with the seeding situation. And so, I mean, and then the Warriors is no slouch because,
I mean, Clay had his best game ever.
Warriors
His best game since he got injured.
are not going to be a slouch
Yeah.
when the Lakers are that bad. So, no, Nets are making the play-in game. I think that's kind of like a foregone conclusion. But the Lakers, I do not see in the play-in game. And if they make the play-in game, there's no sneaky Zero Dark 23 LeBron moment. They're just going to get bounced because they suck. They're that bad.
And looking at the Spurs schedule is kind of hard too. You got the Nuggets, you got the Timberwolves, you got the Warriors, and you got the Mavericks. So Spurs aren't playing slouch.
Yeah, I mean, the Spurs, though, the good thing for them, the good thing for Lakers fans is that the Spurs, I mean, the Timber Pups are still trying to, they could steal that 6th seed from Jazz. They're only a game behind them. And then the Nuggets, like I said, they're only 2 games behind the Nuggets. So, if how things work, they might be able to sneak up to that 5 seed. Now, obviously, the Warriors, once again, that might be, a little flip. Hey, do we rest guys now? Do we try and pull something out there? I don't know, but
and the Mavericks are only 1 game behind the Warriors, so they'll be fighting for that 3 seed.
It'll be interesting for sure. I think for the Spurs, and I think that the Lakers, believe it or not, I think the Lakers are better than the Spurs. I think the Spurs are just finding themselves in better situations. I just don't think anybody looked back at the season and was like, oh, Lakers are going to be 31-47 heading into the last full week of games. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I sure as hell didn't. And I don't know if AD doesn't get injured and if LeBron doesn't get injured, maybe they don't have that issue. I don't know. I still think they're bad. I think we'll hit it right on the head. They're just a bad team offensively and defensively. The biggest problem is that they're the worst. They're one of the worst defensive teams in all of NBA, and they shouldn't be. That's the biggest issue I'm having with
You think they shouldn't be?
They shouldn't be. No. They should not be one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. They are. When the thing too is they're missing Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn has basically robbed the Lakers. He got paid a bunch of money to come play from the Heat to come play for the Lakers. Hasn't played a game. How insane is that? But I'm saying you have a great defender in Anthony Davis. He should be. He should be. LeBron's no slouch. I mean, he doesn't play necessarily his defense as he did when he was with Miami or when he was in his early days with Cavs. Like, he's not doing chase down blocks like he did every game for the Cavs and the Heat. Mm-hmm. He's going to do it once or twice, every week or so, make the highlight reel. But he's still a good defensive player. Yeah. Russell Westbrook is a solid defensive player. When he was with the Wizards, when he was with OKC, and when he was with the Rockets, he was a solid defensive player. It wasn't great. It wasn't winning Defensive Player of the Year, none of that stuff. He was just a guy that says, okay, you can go against me, I can go against you. But Carmelo Anthony, garbage.
Carmelo Anthony's never played defense
never been good
in the NBA at any game.
Never been good.
Any game, he's never done it.
So, garbage. Malik Monk, long, athletic, young dude. Just, he can play okay. Russell Westbrook's just playing okay. They just shouldn't be one of the worst teams. That's all I'm saying.
I
When
think
you
you're
have,
overhyping Russell Westbrook's defensive ability.
I'm not overhyping it. I'm saying that you're telling me that the Rockets, who are what is their record? The Rockets, who are
Bad.
20-59, or the Thunder, who's 23-55, or the Blazers 27-51, are better defensive teams. I can't buy that. You can't even name. If you could name me 5 starters on the Rockets right now, I'd be shook.
If I could name the entire Rockets starting lineup, you mean? If I could name all 5 of them? I don't know them.
I don't even know if
Jason Tate,
I'm just saying name 5 Rockets players.
I don't know them.
John Wall.
You can't count him. He hasn't played this year.
Okay, well,
He's got Jason Tate.
okay, well, what were the 2 teams you said?
The Rockets, Thunder, Trailblazers, Kings. Like, I was just thinking, those are like the worst teams.
Okay,
Some of the worst
well,
teams in the
okay,
NBA.
well, let me tell you.
or even the Magic.
Can I tell you what it is?
Lay it on me.
Okay, Thunder, you mentioned, youngest team in the league.
Correct.
Rockets, bottom 10 age team in the league. What were the other teams you named?
Pistons, Magic.
Pistons, top bottom 5. Magic, bottom 10.
All in age.
All in age, yeah. They're all none of them are average age is all below 26 years. The Lakers, the average age on that team is 30 years old.
Yeah.
They're not. That's not how the NBA works.
Yeah.
Now the younger players, because
They can play.
They're on a
82
bad
games.
team, and they're a lot of those players are scrapping and fighting for some playing time.
Yeah.
This Lakers team is old, and they don't care. LeBron is the only one that cares, and Russell Westbrook, maybe if somebody says something mean to him on the sideline, he'll play hard. I'm telling you, that is the problem with the Lakers. There's not enough young people to push the older guys that are any good.
Or to at least make up for it.
Yeah, or to make up for it. Be like the spell guys who can play real hard for 10 minutes, and then Russell Westbrook will go in and run the offense again.
Yeah,
Like I'm telling you, that is the
Caruso
problem.
or those guys, yeah. I'm just saying, I just feel like with the talent that the Lakers have, you would just think that they'd be at least not one of the worst teams in the NBA. That's all I was getting at. I'm not saying that they're going to light the world on fire like they're, the best defensive team like the Celtics, Bucks, or, the Heat, or even the Suns, but they're just they're just so bad. And I think you hit it right, Will. They're just terrible.
Guess what the oldest team in NBA history was?
Oh,
Is
oldest
it- I
team?
assume
It's got to be
recent, right?
something with
Is it a team this year?
2016 Caps.
No.
2018 Cavs would be up there.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
2018, that's got like Richard Jefferson. That's got like all the old guys.
Yeah. Channing Frye.
James Jones.
Yeah.
I bet my guess is probably one of the Lakers teams, like with like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was like 40 on it. You know what I mean?
It's
Or-
actually tied.
I bet the Pistons is one of them.
2001 Utah Jazz.
Ooh, I forgot. about that team.
1997 and 1998 Houston Rockets. That one I did.
That's probably with what Hakeem,
That would have been a couple years
Charles.
after they went back to back at
But
Between
their
the
average
years,
age
yeah.
was 32 years old.
32.
Yeah.
So not too far off.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Lakers are what 31? Is that what you said?
30.
30.
30.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's, and if they didn't have one young guy on their team, they'd be above that.
Yeah.
But fun fact though,
Oh.
do you know that the Lakers are like undefeated or like have only lost one game when Trevor Ariza starts?
Start the man.
Start the man. You have to at this
Yeah,
point.
you got to start him.
But I just thought that was kind of just a fun tidbit there. But with that being said, though, and the season ending soon here, who do we like the most in the postseason here, and who do we not like? Who do we think are surefire bettors, and who are frauds? Who are the people that are gonna sit there and be like, oh, give me that money line, let me bet them to win the series, and they just
All right. I'll give it to you straight.
give it to me straight.
You
Don't
want
give it
East,
to me
you
curvy.
want, you want East first?
Give me whoever you want.
Let's stick in the East first.
Let's
Let's
go to
Okay,
East
East first. East first. You got 2 main contenders: Heat, Celtics.
Love both of those.
Heat
Love the one first.
are just. I mean, they've been good all season. You know, the Celtics start off real slow, kind of like
Terrible.
I mean,
Terrible.
and then suddenly, like a switch, they're playing hot. I think they'll carry that momentum in. Now-
Actually, before you continue, Robert Williams the third, their center, he's going to be out for I think they said the earliest he can come back would be like late second round, maybe even Eastern Conference Finals, and he's one of their great rim protectors and one of the best players on the team. So I don't know if that's going to change anything for you or not, but
I still feel confident.
okay,
I
cool.
still
Just
feel
making
confident.
sure. Just making sure.
Only fraud in the East, because we already know the Nets are frauds.
Yes.
They've
Yeah.
been frauds all year.
Yeah.
The only fraud I see in the East, I see 2 frauds actually. Now that I look, Bulls, Bucks.
Bulls, but
I agree with the Bulls.
We'll get to you, Dad. We'll get to you.
Oh.
Bucks? Go on. Go on. I'm sure you got something behind
the
it.
The Bucks are just, they're not, first of all, I mean, they're
Championship hangover? Like, what do you mean?
championship hangover. I mean, the roster, I just don't think they've played up to the level that the Heat have played all year, or that like the Celtics have been on this run. They've just kind of been moseying along.
Yeah.
Now, if Giannis can turn it on in the playoffs, then okay, maybe I'll rescind what I said. But I could easily see the Bulls and the Bucks losing a first round playoff series easily.
So the Bucks would play, 3-7?
It would be 3-6. So the Bucks would play the Raptors. The
okay.
76ers would play the Bulls.
Oh, dude, I like that.
Honestly,
Bulls would
kinda
get
right there.
bounced. Bulls would so get
Bulls
bounced. I believe
Bulls
that.
are easily getting bounced by the Sixers, and I think the Raptors can steal a game or two, and maybe
in Milwaukee?
I think they can.
I think the
I
Raptors
think
can
they
beat
could
the
steal
Bucks,
a game in Milwaukee, and then try and get a win in 7 games.
Yeah.
Now the Bucks and 76ers are tied right now, so that could flip.
Easily flip.
Yeah.
So those are my two frauds.
Okay.
I mean, are you saying you're like
No,
you're
I'm not
all in
necessarily-
on the repeat? Are
No,
you all
I'm
in on the repeat?
all in on anybody. I'm not all in on anybody. I'll get to mine, but I just want to go to you. What do you think? Frauds are surefires.
I mean, Eric. So first, just to knock out the contenders, it's the Heat and the Celtics.
Okay.
Like Eric said, Celtics are just so hot right now. I kind of like them a little more than the Heat. Sorry, apologies, but
No apologies needed.
apologies, but I kind of like the Celtics. They're kind of hot. I'm kind of low on the 76ers. I just don't think the James Harden thing's worked as well as some people think.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them, but I think they would beat the Bulls if they were to play the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see the 76ers making it past maybe the second round.
Okay.
So I think I got the Bulls and the 76ers. I mean, you can't really call the Cavs a frauds. They're just injured. So they're not going to do anything.
when they're healthy, they
Yeah,
were.
I mean,
when they were healthy, they were a
especially
4 seed, right?
Yeah,
So,
and when the I mean, no one was like, "Oh, Cavs are gonna win no one was picking the Cavs to win the title.
That's
other than me just throwing it up there, just
yeah, little,
throwing it out
throw-
into the ether, get
it going.
good chakras.
Right. Yeah.
I personally think the two teams that are not frauds, that are, I think, surefire money ones, are definitely the Heat and Celtics. I don't think that's a shock to anybody. I think the Celtics are playing really well. But but going on what I was saying before that, Robert Williams, I could see, especially if the Nets play the Celtics, I could see the Nets maybe winning that series. And it has nothing to do with the fact that the Celtics are playing really hot right now. I'm not shitting on them at all. I'm just saying that Robert Williams guy is a stud. He's a young dude, and he can protect the rim very well, especially when Al Horford's out, on rest, or, he's just a good rotational guy. But I think those are the two teams that are really good. I'm not sold on the Bucks either. I think they should be playing a lot better, but they did remove some of those key pieces. They got rid of PJ Tucker. They didn't sign him back. The Heat got him. They traded away DiVincenzo, who was playing really well off the bench for him. They traded his ass to, I think, somewhere out west. I can't remember who exactly. I think Sacramento. But so I think those are. But I do agree. The two frauds, in my opinion, are the Bulls, and I'm gonna go ahead and say the Sixers as well. I think that the James Harden thing is still working-ish. I think that, like you said, they were trying to win. They were hoping for more, but playoff James Harden, we know, is not necessarily the ideal person to have on your team. I'm hoping, I'd like to see how it changes or whatever, but he's still, like, his assists are still up, so he's not ball hogging. He's just not getting maybe his best shots, but I think those two are the teams that we got to look out and be like, okay, this might blow up in our face. It could get bounced first round.
Yeah.
But
See, I don't want to say 76ers are frauds, only because of this. Because I was just thinking of this. If the 76ers beat the Celtics in a 7-game series, or the Heat in a 7-game series, I wouldn't be flabbergasted.
yeah.
But if they lost, I also wouldn't be stunned.
Yeah, you'd be like, okay. Yeah,
So I think they're kind of like adequately kind
In
of
the spot.
in the spot where the Bucks are on. The Bulls have had a lot of hype, throughout the season, and then the Bucks are the
reigning champs.
Yeah, and have Giannis on the team. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
All right, I respect that. Moving to the Western Conference.
Western Conference.
We love the West.
Give me your surefires. Give me your frauds.
All right, NBA's Western Conference. So surefires, obviously Suns,
Love that.
and honestly,
Don't say it.
dude, that might be the only surefire.
Okay.
That might be the only team where I'm like, the Suns are in the Western Conference Finals. Like, already book it. Like, that just...
They're gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay.
Now, frauds...
Give them to me.
This one might hurt your feelings a little bit.
Mine?
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm going to go with the Grizzlies.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Grizzlies.
Fine.
I'm
That's
going to
fine.
go with the Grizzlies.
Okay. Grizzlies. Anybody else? Just the Grizz?
I think everyone else is kind of like...
Adequately
Are
played.
we-
adequately
Are
played.
we considering the Warriors kind of frauds because Steph's hurt, or do we just?
I wouldn't say that they're frauds. I
I
would
don't
just
think
say
you can-
they're
yeah.
we don't know.
Yeah.
You kind of got to see
Because
that-
if they
see it
got
play
bounced
out.
the first round because Steph couldn't play the entire series, I'd be like, I mean, they would lose to who they play. They play the 7?
Jazz.
No, they play the Jazz.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think you're sitting there going, ooh,
Yeah.
that's not. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I was
Maybe
thinking
not.
where
But
you guys stood. I agree.
maybe. But only the Grizzlies.
Only the Grizzlies are the only ones, because I don't think anyone is like in that upper echelon of teams, or is like they're the hot pick to win a title.
Yeah,
Like the East is kind of more open, where the West is like
you
You
got to
know,
beat the Suns. They've lost 16 times.
Yeah, you got the Suns, and then the Grizzlies have a lot of hype. The Warriors are the Warriors, and then it's like, well, maybe Luka will play really well.
Yeah,
and
maybe
like,
maybe Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray might come back.
Yeah, and if I rode a bike here, I'd be a bicyclist. But that didn't happen. So that's my thought process there.
All right, I respect it. Frauds.
John?
So obviously, yeah, Suns contenders. I'm not calling the Grizzlies contenders just because I don't know if I'm not used to the Grizzlies just being good at basketball.
Who is?
No one is.
They were one of the worst teams 2 years ago.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just seeing them locked up in the 2 seed just looks weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't want to call them contenders. I don't want to call them frauds, but I mean, kind of think the Mavericks are kind of frauds if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
They rely on Luka so much. Who knows who's gonna
Right,
if he's
Luka
gonna
can't
show
drop
up.
40 every night.
Yeah,
He might do it, but you can't rely on that to drop.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, who does? Spencer Dinwiddie? I mean, I don't see him dropping 40. I think he's a great player, and I think he's a great role player, but, outside of those two guys, those are your main point scorers and your main contributors, so it's kind of hard to weigh, your factors there, but
right. Like I can easily see the Nuggets beating them in a 7-game series. Easily.
I completely agree, especially with Nikola Jokic just being the guy that he is. I mean, he's an absolute animal, so he's probably going to win MVP again. He should, but
And I don't want to call the Warriors frauds because Steph's
injuries,
yeah.
right?
So yeah.
Contenders. Give me the Suns. Give me the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are contenders, and I'll tell you why. They have the Defensive Player of the Year on their team in Jarrett Jackson Jr. The Grizzlies are incredibly young. They're long. They're athletic. They're well coached. And the biggest thing I like about them is that they're playing out of their mind right now. And I don't know if that's just because it's a flash in the pan kind of out of their mind, or if it's because, hey, they know that they have the talent. Like they play better almost without John Morant than with John Morant. They're like 17-2. Like, to me, good teams don't, like the Suns, if Devin Booker and Chris Paul don't play, yeah, they're still winning games, but the 2 times they didn't play, they lost. When the Warriors don't have Steph, Dre, or Clay all together, they're not the worst team in the league, but they're not great. So I think that when you can play without arguably your best player on your team and you're still winning games, finally, that's what the Heat have done all year, right? With Bam being injured, Jimmy being injured, and Tyler sitting out some games because he's injured. When you have those key guys missing, we're still finding ways to win. So I think if the Grizzlies can do that, I don't see why they can't do that in the postseason as well. And that's when it's going to matter most. Mm-hmm. And the 2 frauds I've got 2. It's the Timber Pups and the Jazz. The Jazz, every year, Rudy Gobert gets absolutely exposed. I think that, they're only 2 games back. They're like 2 or 3 games back from the 4 or 5 seed split. And I just think they're frauds every year. I do not think they're as good as advertised. I was like, oh my God, Donovan Mitchell's great. I love Donovan Mitchell. I think he's great. Rudy Gobert, not great. Their bench, not great. Jordan Clarkson's not winning an NBA title. He's just not. And the Timberwolves, I know they're playing great right now, and everybody's like really big on like Cat and Anthony Edwards and all those guys, on the young guys, D'Angelo Russell. They're not good. Like I don't get why. It's just like the teams below them are just injured. Clippers haven't had Kawhi or Paul George the entire year. Pelicans haven't had Zion, one of the key players. And when they got CJ McCollum, they started winning and started playing great. Mm-hmm. Spurs have nobody other than DeJounte Murray. And the Lakers have had Anthony Davis for maybe 5 games this year, it feels like, and LeBron being injured. I don't think the Timberwolves would make the playoffs if those two teams, if the Spurs, they might make the playing game. The Spurs are the only outlier. If the Pelicans had a full healthy roster and CJ the whole year, if the Clippers were healthy the entire year, the Timberwolves would not be in the playoffs. So I think they're kind of fraudulent. I could see them getting bounced first round. I know that they're supposed to probably lose first round, based off of seeding and stuff, but I can see them getting swept easily. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. But that's just me. But I'm big on the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies might make the Western Conference Finals. Just really depends on if they end up having to play Warriors, and if they play the Warriors in the second round and Steph's back, then that's gonna suck for them. But it is what it is. But that's our NBA talk. Unless you got anything else you want to hit me with, any quick one-liners? I don't
want to say it.
You can't say it because they're not. The Cavs are there.
No, I don't want to say that they're not back.
They're not back.
They're
not back, but they're not gone. The Cavs are there.
The Cavs are not back. They are currently up by 1 point on the Orlando Magic. Live scoring update.
I think the Cavs just are. I think they just are.
Yeah, they are.
They just are.
And the thing is, though, if Jared Allen comes back, sneaky pick Cavs to go deep run.
Well, I think if Jared Allen comes back, the Cavs are beating the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Whoa, hey now. You got to get there first. Same with the Heat. He'd have to get there first, too, all right? Because if we might mess around and have to play the Nets in the first round. And Eric said it best. Nobody wants to play the Nets in the first round. But the reason we are all here today wearing our baseball garb is opening weekend is here. We made it. It was delayed. Rob Manford's still banned from the podcast, in case you're wondering. Yep. That is still a live update. He still sucks. But opening weekend is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. And happy opening weekend to all those that celebrate. I'm a big fan of it. Hey, clap it up for opening weekend. Baseball is back. Ryan, opening weekend is back. How do you feel? You feeling juiced up?
Juiced up.
Absolutely juiced up. Mainly because you're a huge... he's like one of the only fans of this fan base, huge Yankees fan. There's like only 2 of them, so I'm glad that he picks a good team. So you guys are going to be really average, like usual, and go Reds.
Yeah.
Fire sale, everybody. You guys will be good in a few years. And then go Jose Ramirez, I guess. I don't even want to say go anybody else. Maybe go Shane Bieber. He's good. He's cool. Tristan McKenzie's dope.
He's a cool guy.
Shane Bieber's like the only person.
Tristan McKenzie's dog.
Yeah, he's cool.
But happy opening weekend. Hope everyone's teams are ready for this long season ahead of us. The first ever MLB Power Rankings of the season came out. In this order, it goes Dodgers first, shocker, Blue Jays second, White Sox third, Brewers fourth, Rays fifth, sixth, the Yankees, 7, the Astros, 8 Braves, 9 Giants, 10 Padres. That is the top 10 as of right now before the season even starts, before we've even seen the first pitch, before we've seen the game, only spring training. Are there any snubs on this list currently right now? And are there any teams that are way overvalued? What do we think? How do we feel? John, I feel like I got to start with you first.
I'll hit you with an overvalued team for sure. It's the Brewers. I think the Brewers are a great team. I think they're the favorite for the Central. Maybe I think them and the Cardinals are kind of going to battle. I think the Cardinals and the Brewers need to be closer together on this list. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Brewers are better than the Rays. I don't think they're better than the Yankees. The Braves are criminally underrated in this list. I think they even got better. They get Acuna back. So I think the Brewers are a little high up, Braves a little low. And then is there a team? I mean, the Red Sox aren't on there. It's a little surprising. Maybe the Mariners are a little undervalued too. But I would say my big one is the Brewers overrated, Braves underrated.
Brewers overrated, Braves underrated. Will, who do we like out of this? Who we got as a snub? Who do we got as who we think's overvalued first? Let's do it with overvalued. Overvalued, who's first?
Man, overvalued. That is such a tough question. That is such a tough question.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you never know.
What makes someone overvalued?
Right.
It's a spectrum.
Man, it is a spectrum. Wow.
You want me to go
So
first? I'll
tough.
go first.
Why don't you go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
I just can't. Oh man, it's just a tough.
I'll go first. Overvalued. I'll give you 2 real quick. Ready? White Sox overvalued out of their minds, and 2 Padres. They're not even gonna have their best player for like the first 3 months of the season. It feels like. I think Tatis is gonna be out for like the first like 3 months. So it's like, I think it's ridiculous. You have them starting in your top 10, and then what if they're terrible? Like they're in the same division as the Dodgers and the Giants.
Yeah.
Those are going to be bloodbath games. Like just not having your best player and one of your best hitters is going to be hard for you, I feel like, to compete. And I don't even know who's going to play short for them. It's probably JT Cronenworth. Probably Cronenworth.
Yeah, he plays third a lot. And plus, you got to worry about the DH too. So that's one less player you got.
So I mean, I think that they're incredibly overvalued. And the White Sox, to me, I think are just a product of a really bad division. Their division got better this year. Yeah, everybody in their division got better except maybe the Guardians. I mean, I feel like
the Guardians didn't do anything.
Yeah, so they didn't get better. But Royals got better. They got pitching. They've got some batters, and they brought up Bobby Witt Jr. So he's going to make the opening day roster, okay? And you look at the Tigers. They got Javi Baez. They got A-Rod from the Red Sox. They got better just in general, okay? And then you look at the Tigers. That was the Tigers right there.
Oh, sorry,
then,
I wasn't listening. Twins.
Then you got the Twins, who obviously picked up the best shortstop in baseball. Defensively, offensively, he's top 5. And Carlos Correa, and their pitching still kind of, up in the air there. But they got Gary Sanchez and they got Gio Urshela, who aren't scrubs from the Yankees. They're solid players, nothing that's going to blow you away. But they got better. I just can't believe that we're just. And the White Sox lost Crotchet. He has Tommy John, so he's out for the year. They lost Rendon. Lance Lynn's out for the first, I think, month or first couple weeks of the season because of a knee injury or an elbow or something like that. So I just think that's really crazy that you have them out. I could see, the first month or two go by and the White Sox be below 500 and third in their division. So I think I have them really overvalued. And the Padres, like I said before, team that's incredibly undervalued. I think you said it best, the Red Sox. How are the Red Sox not here? I know they lost Schwarber to the Phils, and I think that's great. And another team, speaking of them while I'm there, Phillies, incredibly underrated. I have no idea why the Phillies are underrated as much as they are.
Yeah, especially
you have the reigning MVP. Yeah. You have arguably one of the best pitchers in the NL in Zach Wheeler. They've got a great starting rotation. They've got great offense. I just think at the end of the day, they should be a lot higher. And I think those Brewers are kind of in that, and especially because their pitcher, one of their starting pitchers, I think, just got popped for PEDs today. So he's gone for the first 80 days or for the first, maybe even the season. I'm not sure how the suspension is going to work, but
I think half the season.
Yeah, so those are the teams that I have as overvalued, undervalued, and overrated in general. But I think another team that's going to be really, really good that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is, like you said, was the Mariners. I think the Mariners are going to be really good. They bolstered their offense, bolstered their defense. They have a ton of young guys coming up. Jaron Kelenich's only going to get better. Julio Rodriguez made the starting lineup. He's only going to get better. And you bring in a Cy Young from the AL East? Yeah, Blue Jays. AL East and Robbie Ray to your team, and you bolstered some other spots. I mean, come on. Yeah. I think they're just going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, the NL East is going to be a bloodbath, I think.
It's going to be so fun to watch.
And then, I mean, back to the Phillies, you replace Andrew McCutchen with Nick Castellanos.
Yes,
so
right.
I think the Phillies, I can't believe I didn't even think of them, criminally underrated. I feel bad for the Mets, though.
Not having.
I was just about to say the Mets are underrated on the list.
Yeah, well, DeGrom's going to be gone for like the first couple days, and Scherzer's now injured a little bit. Yeah. So you just lost your 1-2.
And the Mets still might be pretty good, but
yeah, I mean their offense isn't terrible. It's not.
If the Mets lineup just plays better than they did last year, where they dramatically underperformed, then they're. I think they're a bit underrated on this list.
Yeah.
Now,
who do you think is overrated? Out of the top 10.
Out of the top 10, you guys said it earlier. I think White Sox.
Yeah.
I think the White Sox are good. And I get this is a power ranking, but maybe I'm coming from a different way. But I think I like the Twins today more than I like the White Sox today.
I don't disagree.
And even though maybe the White Sox are better than the Twins, but the White Sox cannot be third.
Yeah.
Yeah, third is criminal.
3 is way crazy high. I don't know anything about the Atlanta Braves, but I like the Atlanta Braves, so I wish they were higher.
The Braves only lost Freddie Freeman, and I know that's a big loss, but you replaced him with Matt Olson. You replaced a Gold Glover with a Gold Glover with a lower average.
And the entire playoff run from the end of the season where they took over the East, because they were under 500 at about the All-Star break.
Yeah.
They lost Ronald Acuna, the best player on their team.
Yeah.
And
you're getting him back. You're getting him back, by the way.
So, yeah.
Underrated.
I like the Braves.
I also think... what was it? On your Phillies talk, I think the Phillies obviously are better, but I mean there's only one DH spot. So like there's Kyle Schwarber, and then you have Nick Castellanos.
It's gonna be Schwarber. Castellanos has to play field. Castellanos is too young. I mean, he's only 29?
20. Yeah, he's
so
in
he's
late 20s.
he's in the middle of his prime.
Yeah.
27 to like 32 is your prime typically for most players. And he's on the back end of his career. And he played DH for the Red Sox and the Nationals basically all last year until he got traded to the Red Sox, where he's basically the full DH and played first base every now and again. But he's definitely going to be, and I think what they're going to do is they're going to take the first baseman when they want to give him a rest. They're going to put Schwarber at first, not necessarily put him in the outfield. So I think that's going to answer their DH question. It's going to be Schwarber only. But yeah, I think the Phillies are definitely underrated in my opinion.
But and then last one, I think Mariners are underrated on the list. But that's what I got for you.
Okay. I mean, hey,
I'll agree.
it's gonna be a good, fun year of baseball. I think honestly, other than the Dodgers, I think a lot of teams are really well balanced. It's not like you sit there and be like, okay, hey, who's coming out of the AL this year? I don't think anybody has a solid answer. I mean, you could say probably the favorites. One of the favorites is probably the Astros. We've been to the Astros have been to 5 straight ALCS championships and have been to 3 World Series in that 5-year span. But then you look at the Rays, who have consistently won and dominated their division and been really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a team that will be really overvalued as well, kind of just like a little tidbit as well as the Yankees. The Yankees did not get better.
Yeah.
They got Josh Donaldson, which I wouldn't necessarily say is a great upgrade from Gio Urshela, but they did not get better.
Yankees fans were pretty mad not getting one of the big shortstops.
Not getting Carlos and not even getting Trevor Story. So I think that'll be an interesting, tidbit or however you want to, play that out. But
I think Astros, White Sox are kind of like the easy ones because I think they'll probably win their divisions. I think.
I don't know. The Mariners will be sneaky, and if the Angels play, if Mike Trout stays healthy, Noah Syndergaard stays healthy, and Shohei does half of what he did last year, the Angels are going to be sneaky. Sneaky.
I still think you give the nod to the Astros.
I am too. I still think the Astros are going to win the AL West, but the Rangers got better. I mean, everybody got better except the Oakland A's. A's got way worse. They literally traded everybody away, except their bat boys. Like pretty much, they just traded Manaea away or Montas to the Padres for basically a bag of balls.
Yeah.
So, I think everybody's going to be good except Oakland. So, I think the Mariners will be a sneaky pick to win the AL, but you just never know. When you have that many moving parts coming in, you just never know. Could happen, could not.
Mm-hmm.
But I think out of the AL, it's going to be interesting. But when you look at the NL, it's like, to me, it's the Dodgers and everybody else playing second. They got better, and I didn't even know it was possible to get better.
Yeah, because, I mean, you're looking at the divisions. I mean, Brewers, Cardinals, Dodgers smoke them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the Braves... Maybe the Giants can give the Dodgers a little something.
Right.
But I think the Braves and Giants are probably the 2 biggest roadblocks for the Dodgers to make the World Series this year.
Yeah.
And
it's going to come down to whoever's got a better bullpen and a better pitching rotation because the way I look at it, the Padres don't have a better rotation than the Dodgers.
Especially if Trevor Bauer's playing this year. I mean,
and Dustin May should be coming back. So, I mean, I don't know about you or what you think, but I think the Dodgers are definitely the favorites here. I mean, outside of them, do you see anybody competing? Maybe the Phillies, I guess. I don't know. Their starting rotation's good.
No. If you're giving me the Phillies as the competitor to the Dodgers, then I'll take the Dodgers every time.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, if I had to choose like a true, real competitor against the Dodgers, I think I would. I'm with John, and I think I would have to say the Braves.
Yeah.
Their starting rotation's good. They got a lot of young talent, and now they don't have to worry about a DH.
Yeah.
Playing around a DH. Who knows? And their bullpen was one of the best bullpens in all of baseball last year.
Yeah.
They only got better. They picked up Kenley Jansen. So
and who knows who gets hot towards the end of the season too?
Of course, yeah. Who knows? The Reds might be there.
Doubt that.
No,
they won't.
No, they will not.
No.
But no, a 7-game series between the Dodgers and the Braves. Sign me up for that.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah,
NLCS, hopefully.
What about a 4-game series between the Reds and the Dodgers?
The Reds might pull it out.
I think they can pull it out. Hey, if they have Johnny Bench come back in his prime, Pete Rose back in his prime, Joe Morgan resurrected from the dead and back in his prime,
Ken Griffey, but like from Seattle, but on the Reds. Yeah.
And then Deion Sanders just for clout.
And then
might as well.
Deion Sanders and Adam Dunn.
And Adam Dunn, like OG Adam Dunn?
OG Adam.
OG Adam Dunn.
OG
and
Adam
you know what? You might as well F it. Bring in Barry Larkin. Might as well. Bring in Barry. Keep Jonathan India, though. Put him at like third or something.
Yeah, we'll keep Jonathan.
Yeah,
The Cavs are currently losing by 5.
Live score update?
Magic. Yes, live score update.
Wait, is it up here?
It should be. It'll probably rotate around.
Okay.
It'll probably rotate through, but it's not on there. But that's our MLB talk. So happy opening weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be looking forward to all the games that we're watching. And also shout out the Masters. Ryan, who should we be looking out for the Masters? Give us little quick hits here. Tiger is playing, so fear Tiger.
He's still.
He said yes today. He said he's playing.
He says as of right now, it's looking like he is going to play.
Allegedly.
Somebody asked him if he can win, and he said absolutely. He's playing then. To me, you don't answer that question unless you're for sure playing. Who do we like, Ryan? Do we like our favorites? Do we like Rom? Do we like JT? Like, who do we like here?
I like JT. I like Scotty Scheffler, Cameron Smith.
Do we like the guy from last year or with Hakamura? Or how do you say his name?
Matsuyama.
Yeah.
He's been having a little bit of an off season this year, but I mean, season kind of just started. The Masters is kind of like what starts the season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Other than those,
Colin Morikawa, maybe.
Okay. Basically, what I'm saying is Tiger by $1 billion. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Tiger's not going to win.
No, I mean, I'm an anti-Tiger guy.
First of
I hate
all,
Tiger.
I'm gonna throw 100 G's right now. Tiger does not win. No, I really want him to win. I'm hoping Tiger wins. I think it's good for golf when he plays.
I hope he loses.
Well, I'm just a
I hope he doesn't qualify.
Just as a Columbus guy, I just want Jack Nicklaus to have the most
champions. Well, I don't think Tiger can even beat it. It's not like if he wins this one, he's gonna beat it.
I think he. Yeah.
If he wins this one, is he gonna
If he
beat it?
wins this one, he's 2 off.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Tiger's
so I-
only getting older, and who knows if he drives
Jack won his
safely
last
again.
championship at 46.
Yeah.
Tiger's what, 30 something?
How's Tiger?
I can't.
He's
I
gotta be in
imagine
his 40s.
Tiger's got to be in his 40s. Well,
Tiger Wood is 46.
And
Jack Nicklaus is 80.
The Golden Bear.
Hey, shout out his nephew.
Who's
His grandson. His grandson hit a hole-in-one. Not today, but like a couple years ago on the par 3 contest or whatever.
I thought it was like someone we knew
last
for a second.
time Nicklaus won a major was when he was 46.
So Tiger's running out of time. Tiger's running out of time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so I'm rooting against Tiger.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
hate
fair.
Tiger.
That's fair. That's fair. I hate Tigers in period. I don't want to get mauled by one.
I'm just saying, like,
Also,
when
the
it comes to the greatest golfer of all time, like right now, the Nicklaus versus Tiger debate, it's kind of like Jordan versus LeBron.
Yeah,
Like,
but there's a
when you're
difference
talking
there.
about, like, the best player, I'm talking like, who cares about how much they won? Best player of all time, it's Tiger hands down without a fact.
By a million.
No question.
By a million.
Jack was disgusting, and Jack was amazing.
But if we're talking about best
And
drink,
Jack won more.
but if we're
He
talking
did
about
win more.
but if we're talking about best drink, Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
true.
that's the
Arnold Palmer. Not even
and Bill,
close.
Bill Russell, best NBA player of all time.
Yes.
For going
Yeah,
by
see?
rings.
There you go. See, if we're going by rings like Jack Nicholson, then it's Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Or
No,
John
Actually,
Jones.
Jack Nicholson might be a good golfer. I don't know.
Let's be
Jack
honest.
Nicklaus, Bill Russell.
I think it's actually Will Chamberlain, best player of all time. Who cares if he's going up against, my dad?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or
us.
Highest scoring game ever. So,
Yeah.
like, has
Which even still wasn't really well documented.
See,
But
I think I kind of want to bring this up. I think the Will Chamberlain game was fake.
you think so?
That did not happen. He
I
did
think
not
it's
score
fake.
100
He
points.
did not
No,
score.
it's not. It's
We
not.
have plenty of footage of him playing like regular games, but we don't have the one where he scored 100 points.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
just like
right.
a funny photo. They're like, "Hey, wouldn't this be cool if we took this in the locker room?" Like,
Yeah. Oh, hey, scored 100.
scored 100?
Nobody can't. We could do it here. We could just write 100 here and say I scored 100 points today.
I don't think
He's going up against.
Yeah, he's basically going against a Flint Tropic in the Mega Bowl. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't
does
think
that mean I scored 100? No, it does not.
I don't
but
think that gives you credibility.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But moving on from MLB, moving on from the Masters, can we get a round of applause? Can we get a round of applause for March Madness? Hey, what a year! What a year!
It was okay.
Hey, you didn't like this March
The
Madness?
script
was
writers
okay.
were pretty
It
good
was
this year.
okay.
I thought the script
The
was
Peacocks,
good. I thought
the Peacocks making it, the upsets.
the Final Four games were pretty close.
The Final Four games were all close except Villanova.
Hey, the Final Four games were close except for half of them.
The one other
third.
one.
One third.
Yeah.
The Final Four games.
There's 3 games. Only one was
No,
Oh,
not
you're
the
counting
final.
the championship game?
Or I was.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
not the
my bad.
final four.
Oh,
the
sorry.
final four.
Sorry,
like the two teams. Yes. I'm sorry. Misspoke there. Misspoke.
Yeah, no, we're good.
But yeah, I mean, I thought.
Come on.
What did you want? What did you want? Chalk?
No, I want teams that I can get behind.
You couldn't get behind the Peacocks?
I mean, they lost to UNC in a
They
blowout.
got crushed.
They got destroyed.
crushed.
that was not.
That
You
was
couldn't get behind
illegal.
North Carolina?
Absolutely not. I hate North Carolina. I wanted Duke to win.
I wanted Duke to win too. I wanted Duke to win. But fine, whatever. He didn't like it. I loved it. I thought it was a great tournament.
I've
love the
seen
fact.
better tournaments. I've seen better
Name
tournaments.
one. Name one.
Name one tournament that was better. Okay, let me think.
Duke losing to Mercer. Better.
Let me think. Hold on, I have to think.
1960 was pretty cool.
And I really was a big fan of when Criminal
last
Jablon
time
won
they
four
won. Yeah.
for 4. Like a Wendy's. Like a Wendy's 4 for 4. That was
The
great.
Larry Bird Magic Johnson one was pretty cool.
Yeah, and yes, they have smuffs.
Yeah.
True. The year where Louisville beat Michigan. Better tournament.
Oh,
That was a great tournament.
Yeah,
That was like Wichita
there you
State,
go.
Louisville, Michigan,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
Kentucky, I think.
No, it was Kansas. No,
No, because it's Kentucky versus Louisville in the Final
yeah.
Four.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
It's like a
Yeah, because Michigan beat Wichita.
Yeah.
That was a good. That was a great. Hey, you know,
Yeah.
hey, I'm sorry. I
It's
respect.
kinda
I respect.
weird
I'm
that-
just saying it was a good tournament. Damn it.
It's vacated though.
Yeah.
Louisville.
Yeah, it is. Shout out.
Oh
Hey,
no!
shout out
I've
Rick
seen
Pitino.
everyone's like, well, Kansas has 5 level 1 violations. Yeah, we all saw him win the game though.
Yeah.
Everyone was there.
No,
they
I'm
thought.
just saying. Well,
No,
it's not
yeah,
vacated.
Yeah, but it's not vacated. But shout out Rick Pitino. Feel free. Come on the pod. Tell us how you feel.
Rick
I
Pitino podcast?
2019.
Are we
20
against Rick Pitino?
No, I was just curious.
Okay. I'm okay with
I loved 2019. I know a lot of real basketball haters didn't like it when Virginia played Texas Tech because it was a defensive game. I loved that Final Four. Virginia, Texas Tech, Michigan State, Auburn. That Auburn game was insane.
What year did South Carolina make the Final Four against? And they played Oregon.
Loyola Chicago year 2018.
What about,
that year was insane. Villanova, Michigan, Kansas, Loyola Chicago.
What about
Incredible
when,
Final
Florida went on that like crazy run? They're like the 4 or 5 seed and like won through. I think that was like when we were like
The-
juniors.
Dude, Duke,
yeah.
Wisconsin, Michigan State, Kentucky in
Yeah,
2015.
2015.
And Michigan and
was
Duke,
pretty
That-
and then
that year was
Wisconsin lost
awesome.
to
That was when
Wisconsin lost to
Kentucky
Duke.
was, like,
Wisconsin lost to Duke. Yeah, Kentucky was like
yeah,
undefeated.
Yeah, and then
and they lost to
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin.
in the Final
Good,
Four.
Um,
That was
good year.
Here's a year that sucked. 2016, Nova, North Carolina. Great championship game, but Oklahoma and Syracuse as the rest of the Final Four, those games sucked. Oklahoma had the biggest blowout ever.
Also, Villanova. I mean, I was gonna bring this up last week, but Villanova's not a blue blood. I'm tired of people saying that Villanova's a blue blood.
I think it's
They're
kind of
not.
hard.
That's
I think it's kind of hard to say not. I mean, Jay Wright's run 2 national
I
championships.
think it's
on
pretty
there.
easy. I think calling Villanova a blue blood is like calling Clemson a blue blood in football.
I mean, who's your
it's
blue
literally-
buds? Who are your blue buds?
I mean,
There's probably only 3.
there's
in my
only 5,
opinion.
but Villanova.
Well, who are the 5?
You probably have 3 of my 5. I only think there's 3.
It's Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky,
Oh,
and
Kentucky, I forgot about Kentucky.
UCLA.
UCLA hasn't been that good. I mean,
They made the Final Four. last year.
Villanova's got 3 tournament wins in the last like
I mean,
6 years.
I'm not talking current programs. I'm just talking blue blood.
Blue Bloods. I mean,
Okay,
I don't
well
know,
then
it's kinda-
Indiana is a blue blood, then too.
UConn would be blue blood.
If you're counting Kansas, if you're counting Kansas, you
They've
have
won
to
2
count Indiana.
championships the past 10 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Blue Blood NIT champions. Xavier Blue
If
Blood.
you're counting
NITs.
Kansas, you have to count Indiana.
I'll give it.
I'll-
You know what? Just because of the "This is Indiana" video, I'll give it to Indiana.
All right.
Well, you have to. Kansas doesn't have like some insane program.
I mean,
in
Kansas-
Look at
Kansas
blue
is not-
chipped.
as far as tournament
Kansas is
wins.
but Kansas
or-
is number 1 all-time wins as of the Sweet 16. They passed Kentucky, so Kansas number 1 all-time wins.
Yeah, I say.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know
out of the
that.
Final Four, 3 of them. 3 of the. Who are the other 4? It was like 3. It was like 3 of the Final 4 teams.
Yeah,
were in
I-
the top
I
5.
know that.
Except
and they only
Villanova.
have 4 tournament championships. 2 of them in the 21st century, and then 2 of them in 1952 and 1988. Indiana, I mean, they've fallen off now, but they have more tournament championships and just have a more blue blood program than Kansas does.
I think the whole
And
Blue
then if
Blood.
you're not counting, if you're, I mean, Villanova has been to the Final Four, 7 times, and most recently 09, 16, 18, and 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those. I mean, personally, I think a Blue Blood team not necessarily winning a whole bunch of championships Michigan always plays well in postseason.
See, I
Five-
knew you were gonna say that.
Michigan's
No,
nowhere
I'm-
close to a blue blood though.
I didn't say they were blue blood. I just said but I'm saying that Michigan has made 5 straight Sweet 16s. There's only one team that has a current active Sweet 16 consistent making. I think it's Gonzaga, and they're at 4. Texas Tech. I think is at 4.
Here are the blue bloods. It's Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, and Indiana, and UCLA. There's 5.
No,
There's the
Kentucky.
only 5.
Kentucky.
Oh, and Kentucky.
Kentucky's
and
won
Kentucky.
one championship past 20 years.
But I don't think winning championships make you.
should carry that much weight. I think unless it's like old. I mean, you can get rid of that.
Okay, then
But-
Kentucky's won one championship the past 42 years.
I don't think Kentucky. I don't think winning championships makes you blue blood personally, because I think
You have to
I think it just means like you're winning at such a high clip, which all those 4 teams do. Kentucky, Kansas, Duke, North Carolina.
It's
Which,
an
by the
all-
way, this is completely derailed what we were going to talk about.
Yeah,
but I'm glad we're
it's
having
it's an all-encompassing. It's an all.
Yeah, that's why I said like
Sure.
Michigan. I mean, Michigan
Like-
always plays
Well,
really
but see,
well
if
in
you
the
do-
tournament.
okay, but see-
same thing with like Nova. Like to me, you can't shit on Nova because they just don't play in a good conference. But when they play,
Big
when
East
it comes,
is a good conference.
The Big
they're
East is
okay.
a good conference.
They're
Big East
okay.
is a
No,
good
it's a good
conference.
conference.
The Big
You
East
know
is
who
a
I
good
can't shit
conference.
on, and I always will?
No, but
Gonzaga.
Fuck.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're not even in
Yeah.
this conversation.
No, I don't
They-
think the Big East is as good as it once
But no,
was.
Villanova being a blue blood is exactly like Clemson. You have 1 title in the 80s and 2 recent championships. Clemson's
But
not.
they always play
Clemson's
well.
Not a blue blood in football.
I don't know anybody that is saying Clemson's a blue blood in football.
Yeah.
I think to me there's only
And there should
Okay,
be
first of all,
no-
there's no we don't do this in football. It's blue chip programs.
Okay.
blue chip.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, I just think to me when it comes to the way
No,
I look
blue-
at blood is
No,
blue
but
blood
see-
is winning at a high clip.
No, but blue blood literally comes from being royalty. You have got to win the title you've got to win titles to be a blue blood. You have to.
Fair enough.
Now,
I'll take it.
what I'm saying is if Jay Wright keeps up this pace with Villanova for 40 years like Coach K did with Duke, they're a blue blood.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have to be.
I'll give that
because
to you.
because Duke is a irrelevant program outside of Coach K's 40
Tenure.
years.
Correct. That's why
Yeah.
I'd give that to you. I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he
No,
has-
I'm not
I
saying-
think-
I'm
no,
not saying
Duke
you can-
only has
I'm-
5 championships and they're all under Coach K. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you literally remove the blip of 40 years of Coach K, Duke is irrelevant. I do agree with that. Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that it's easy to replicate anything Coach K's done,
No.
but Jay Wright is with Coach K gone. Jay Wright and Bill Self are my top 2 coaches in college
And
basketball.
I think Jay Wright might be number 1.
I
agree.
think Jay
I
Wright
agree.
might be number 1.
I agree.
I don't know, man. I think you got to throw. I think you got to throw the North Carolina guy.
You don't even know his
After
name. You don't even know his
one
name.
year-
No, I'm
After
saying.
1
I'm not
year-
saying.
You
I'm
don't
not
even know his name. He put together a really good run.
Yeah.
You've seen plenty of coaches put together. Shaka Smart put together a terrific run with Wichita State, and who cares?
I'm
He
not-
coached
no,
in
I'm not-
Texas
I'm
and
not-
was exposed.
100%. I forgot he went to Texas.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
No, I'm just saying that he what yeah
Hook.
hook him. Huh. No, I'm just saying that like we got to give him like some credit. I mean, you took a program from Roy Williams which was in shambles his last 2 years at being UNC, and then immediately to the Final Four his first tenure. I mean, and they turned it around.
Shambles?
Dude, they were terrible. They were
also terrible this year. They just went on a run. Teams go on runs all the time.
I wouldn't say they were terrible.
One championship appearance. UNC in the February was unranked.
right. I
They
know
were
they had
bad.
a
That's
bad
bad. That's
start.
called
They had a
being
bad.
bad.
They had a
That's called
bad
being
start.
bad.
Yeah, but
No, but they got hot. What I'm saying is, you're putting the North Carolina coach, who we still don't know his name because he's only coached for 1 year. You're putting him as one of your.
I
top,
also didn't know who a lot of these coaches are.
Also,
Only one I knew is Jay Wright.
You're putting him as one of your top coaches because he went on one tournament run.
No,
I'm also not fully
Then what
convinced.
reason?
I'm just saying that he's been a proven coach in multiple programs. The program, like if you look at his resume, he's been successful everywhere he's gone, especially as an NBA player, especially as
As an NBA player, as if that has anything to do.
No,
with
I'm
what
just
we're
saying
talking about.
everywhere he's gone, he's been successful. I'm not saying that he's going to be the next Roy Williams. I'm just saying that he's had a successful career everywhere he's gone. That doesn't mean that he's going to be a great coach. No, I mean there's been plenty of guys. Magic Johnson, phenomenal player, coach, awful, GM, awful, president, terrible. I'm just saying that he's been successful everywhere he's go. if he goes back to the Final Four or has a great tournament run next year and has a great program, we have to start that conversation. You have to start it somewhere. I'm just willing to start it now after 1 year.
You want to hear a hot take?
Lay it on me. Coach Calipari, overrated?
Oh, well, that's not even a hot take.
I think
He's
Roy
beyond
Williams was.
overrated.
I think Roy Williams was coaching this entire year.
Yeah, I saw him at every game.
I saw him at every
Saw him
game.
at
Saw him at
I saw him at every game.
freaking
He was in the background.
He was just there.
He was just like, okay.
Did you see him
Coach
hit the
K just-
casino after the Final Four win?
No.
When they went to Jimmy, went out to the casino. Shout out my
Did he
God.
coach at Kansas too?
Yeah, he came from Kansas too. Because the two guys that coached the
That's what
national
I thought.
championship were both under Roy Williams. I thought that was kind of
That's
kind
interesting.
of a cool
Okay,
thing.
so
But yeah, Roy Williams coached this entire year, or at least
okay, well,
March.
first of all, I still don't understand your Hubert Davis. I looked up his name. Your Hubert Davis, rant. He's only coached at North Carolina. He was an assistant for 7 years, and then they promoted him. Okay, so
He's been a successful. You're telling me Roy's going on every recruiting visit and getting these guys in here? No.
Okay, first of all,
Urban Meyer didn't do that, or-
recruiting in basketball is extremely difficult and
the
taxing.
Cavs are up 2.5.
Right. What?
Thank you. Cavs are up 2 at the half as of 8 p.m. April 5th.
Live scoring update, by the way. No, I'm just saying that he's been very successful at his job. Assistant coaches do not get enough credit just in general. I'm saying that I'm willing to start the dialogue that he will be eventually one of the best coaches in basketball. That's all I'm getting at. Do I think he's one of the best now? No, because I think there's only two guys it is. I think you hit both of them around the head. It's Jay Wright.
It's Jay Wright and it's Bill, and Jay Wright is number 1.
And Thad Matta's got to be up there now.
Bill. Shout out Thad, by the way.
So Coach K, he's gone. Tommy Izzo, I think, is an overrated coach. I know you were tooting his horn real hard. You say he's the best coach in Big Ten history.
No, I did not. I said I proposed the question. I didn't say he was. I didn't say he
In the
was.
2-minute drill, I think you did.
No, I said he's up there. I would say he's up there. I'd say in recent history, he for sure is. If I had to pick right now, he's definitely one of the best in recent history.
What about-
I don't even know who you would. The only person you would rival him against is probably John Beeline.
Bobby Knight.
No, in recent history.
Oh, recent.
What about?
Bobby Knight did retire in the 2000s, I think.
He
man,
didn't-
what
he didn't
about
retire.
what
He
about
got
Mark
fired,
Hugh
right?
at Gonzaga? At Gonzaga.
Nah, they don't win.
Bob Knight, they got to get fired from Texas Tech. He resigned and then.
No,
gave
I
the
meant
job to
from
his son.
Indiana.
Oh.
I meant from he got fired from Indiana. I'm talking about Big Ten. Texas Tech not in the Big Ten.
I mean, Bobby
I
Knight was
didn't
still
know what
coaching in
you were
08.
talking about.
You were talking shit about me saying Thomas is the best.
Yeah, because that's what you said. The other
Yeah, I'm saying in recent history, he's the best Big Ten coach. He's the best Big Ten coach of recent history. That's all I'm getting at. But to get what we were actually going to talk about,
on.
which I'm glad we
Also, no. Just to circle all the way back, I do agree. I don't think Villanova is a blue blood if we're only picking those 5 teams.
Okay.
Okay,
I agree.
Fair enough.
Which spurned that entire conversation.
Okay. Fair enough.
We're on the same page.
Fair enough. So back to what we were trying to say was we say goodbye to March Madness and we say goodbye to Coach K as well. So shout out Coach K, shout out March Madness. I wanted Coach K to win it all. I respect the greatness that he was and everything it is. I love to see it, but we have to give a special shout out to our good friend and co-host John Witt. He won our bracket.
Wow.
Shout out Kansas.
Wow.
Shout out Kansas.
Thank you,
Kansas
thank
does not win; he loses. So shout out Kansas. Rock chalk. This is a
coming
Jayhawk. This is a Jayhawk podcast.
Yeah, pro Jayhawk pod.
Bro Jayhawk podcast. But as we look in the national championship and we look at the Final Four, and in the review, I thought this tournament was a lot of fun. I thought it was really exciting. Not one of the best, clearly. Not one of the best.
No, I literally just went through like
4 or 5
six
picks.
that were just
Not one of the best, but I thought it was a fun one in general.
Shout out 2013.
Shout out also the women's side of it as well. South Carolina winning their natty champion as well with their coach absolutely dripped out in Louis Vuitton. Her jacket, I think, was like $4,600. Insane.
Jeez.
Just in general, but they kind of worked UConn there.
Yeah, not good for the Lady Huskies.
Not good for the Lady Huskies. And I thought that, it might make South Carolina might be the team to beat now. I mean, she's now 2 for 2 in national championship games and won both of them very handily. So shout out the ladies tournament. Sold out their national championship game. First ever time I think that's ever happened for them.
Oh, really?
So good for women's basketball. They've got a lot of things coming. So shout out both tournaments. I thought they worked really well. Shout out the Ohio team that won the NIT and Xavier Go X. So I think that was really good. I think that both of those tournaments were really fun. I think the best game of the entire tournament, outside of maybe the national championship game and the Duke North Carolina game, was that UConn NC State game. That game was insane, like 3 or 4 overtimes.
Oh, yeah.
It was wild. You had last-second threes to tie it. You had Paige Beckers dropping like 14 unanswered points by herself. It was a crazy game. One of the best games in all of the tournament, and by far up to that point was the best game in the tournament. I think Duke and UNC might take that over, but at the end of the day, we say goodbye to it. Do we have any well wishes to the tournament? What do we have to say goodbye? What do we love about the tournament? What do we hate about it? What do we love?
What did I love? Let's see. I loved the St. Peter's run. That was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun.
it was fun.
I had to love that. I love North Carolina losing. I love that.
Of course.
What do I hate? I hate Ohio State looking embarrassing in the second round. I hate Duke losing to North Carolina, and I think that's and I hate performing so poorly in the bracket challenge.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
What do we love? What do we hate?
I mean, I think I'm a softcore Kansas Jayhawk fan now.
You might have to be.
So my first ever bracket I filled out, I picked Kansas to win it all, and they did, like back in
2008.
Yeah.
Mario
So
Chalmers.
So I've
Shout out
always
Heat legend.
yeah
Heat legend, Mario Chalmers.
So I think I'm a softcore Kansas Jayhawk fan now.
You might have to.
And now
be.
that I won this year with Kansas, I think I'm never gonna pick against Kansas again.
You can't.
I hate that all the St. Peter's players are leaving. Kind of sucks. I get it, especially in the days of NIL and the transfer portal. So
I mean, I personally love that the fact that they're leaving. It's you got your shining moment. You prove that you can play, and I mean that's you got to think though. These kids are thinking that they might be able to make it to the next level.
Oh yeah,
and, is St. Peter's going to be that? No.
I'm by no means trying to say that
it does suck though for St. Peter's.
I'm just saying it would have been cool to see them go again. Just run it back.
Be kind of like the Loyola team of the recent. But Ryan, what we love, what we hate.
I hated how there wasn't a lot of like Big Ten representation up the top. Like all the like mediocre, middle ground Big Ten teams played mediocre.
Like who? Wisconsin, Iowa,
Ohio
Indiana,
State.
You can't count Indiana.
Iowa.
Michigan's really. If you're looking at all the teams, Michigan's pretty much the only one that exceeded expectations.
Iowa,
Purdue,
Michigan
lost
State.
St. Peter's, Wisconsin, lose to Iowa State. What?
Iowa State made it to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, Michigan beating
No,
Tennessee
they
is pretty much the only thing.
They lost to Miami.
They lost to
Illinois.
Miami. I'm sorry.
Illinois. I mean, Houston ended up being
Iowa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Iowa.
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
killing
like
it. They're killing
Iowa's the only one that really underperformed. I mean, Wisconsin obviously.
Yo,
got bounced,
Purdue
but-
got to play St. Peter's in the Sweet 16 and they lost.
Yeah, unless you count Ohio State beating Chicago Loyola, I do not. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pick'em game, I guess, in Vegas. A lot of people had Chicago winning that game.
But other than the
Michigan's
Big
State,
Ten kind of underperforming, you feel like I feel like outside of Wisconsin and Iowa, all the Big Ten teams, in theory, by seeding and matchups, lost the games that they should have lost.
Shout out the Notre Dame Rutgers game in the first four.
Dude, that was
I
a
forgot
great
about
game.
that game.
Great
Yeah,
game.
that game was
great
great.
game. But I mean, like outside of that, like Rutgers was probably supposed to lose to Notre Dame. Indiana was definitely supposed to lose to who the hell did they play?
They played UCLA.
Yeah, they were supposed to lose to UCLA.
Or no, they played St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
They played St.
Iowa
Mary's.
State was
They got
Iowa-
Indiana was not supposed to lose by 25 to St. Mary's.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, but they were supposed to lose. I'm not saying necessarily lose by 5. It doesn't matter if you lose by 2 or you lose by 50. You still
Listen,
lost.
Iowa's not supposed to lose to
Iowa was not supposed to lose to Richmond.
To Richmond.
That's a fact. And
is not
Wisconsin was supposed to lose to Iowa State.
Illinois was not
Mich-
supposed to lose to Houston.
Oh no, Michigan.
I beg to differ. I think
Well, some people
Houston-
thought Chattanooga.
Yeah, it was a 5-4. It's not like they underperformed. They lost to a great team in Houston.
Yeah, but
Houston
it
ended
wasn't
up
even
beating
really,
Arizona
It wasn't even
They
handily.
really,
almost lost to Chattanooga too.
Yeah, no, they only led for 30 seconds in that game, so I get that, but they
Yeah.
didn't. At the end of the day, anybody can play bad. You just win.
Yeah.
No,
But I
it
feel like
wasn't
Ohio State
even-
losing to Nova is not like
Yeah,
crazy.
Houston, Illinois was like it wasn't even a game.
Yeah, no,
like that's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
They didn't even keep it close, and they were the higher seed.
Yeah.
like it can be 5-4, but Houston dominated.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yep.
what I loved personally about the tournament was the madness of it all. And I know that's kind of cliche, but I love
Boom.
the St. Peter's run. I loved Michigan upsetting Colorado State, which once again, I don't really think that's an upset just in general, but upsetting Tennessee, I know that's a lot of big people's favorites. Richmond beating Iowa crushed my bracket. I love seeing it, though. I love seeing the Iowa State win 2 games last year and then almost make it to the Elite Eight. I love seeing that. Love seeing Auburn lose early. You know, you see the madness of it. Kentucky, obviously losing to St. Peter's first round was crazy. Purdue, making it as far as they did, because I think a lot of people had them overvalued just in general. But making Sweet 16 is no slouch. You can't. It's hard to do that. But Gonzaga losing, they were the overall favorites to the Arkansas, who a lot of people were writing off as the tournament was starting because they were just playing bad.
Mm-hmm.
I love the madness of it all. And the one thing I did hate is I did hate to see Coach K lose before the national championship. I wanted Coach K to go out on the golden chariot of ending at top, but not everything's written in the storybooks and not written in the stars like it should be. But we say goodbye to greatest coach of all time.
He's
on
5 championships, most winning coach ever.
He's on Mount Rushmore for sure.
I think he's.
Who's better? If you had to pick someone.
Honestly, when you're looking at the accolades, nobody's better. There are coaches I like
John
better,
Wooden.
and I think John Wooden, not a very good coach, cheated every year. There are coaches that I just like better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I prefer their style of play, their coaching. Mm-hmm. But as far as the wins go, it's got to go
Coach K.
to Coach K. It has to. Literally has to.
Who do you like?
John Wooden,
I'm sticking with
extremely
the
overrated. John Wooden, extremely overrated.
I get the argument. But I think you got to give him credit for winning all those titles. I mean, he won for like 11 straight
13.
years. Yeah, it was insane.
13 total, something like that.
He won by far the most championships, and you got to respect him for that at least.
I don't, because he cheated. He was a cheater.
That's fair. I mean,
Who do you like as a coach? You think Coach K Grace full time?
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say something stupid like that, man.
Stop it. Right
I mean,
stop it.
That did really well at Ohio State. He had like one or two like bad years.
plus, I
This was
mean,
like last 2 years.
but everybody was cheating then. I mean,
Doesn't
we're talking
matter.
about cheaters.
Doesn't matter. Thad Mana.
He had that whole
Out there.
shoe signing scandal where everybody got in trouble. It was like a bunch of teams, like
Yeah.
Kansas.
Oh, yeah, that's
Duke,
with Kansas, yeah.
I mean, but it was more than just Kansas. That was just the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fine.
I think Coach K, just the fact that he's respected at like top level of coaches, not even just in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been the coach for the USA team for how many years?
Right. No, I mean I love that. I'm glad to see him back with Butler, but moving on. Oh, Coach K. Oh, I thought you were talking about Thad.
No, Coach K. He's been.
Oh yeah, he's been with the
coach
US.
for
Won
USA.
4 gold medals.
Yeah,
Three
something like
gold
that.
medals. 4 gold medals.
In fact, yeah,
The thing with that is actually not really that impressive or very cool, because
Well, yeah, the redemption team brought the team back.
yeah, what I'm saying is the basketball coach approach to coaching the USA team should be: you get your chance to do it, you go do the Olympics, you get this chance.
Oh,
to
you
do it.
don't stay.
And then he's doing it for like 20 years. Get out of the way, Coach K. We don't care.
Well, 20
Like,
years isn't
I agree with
fair to
that.
say. You got to say like 4 Olympics or 3 or
4
4
Olympics, all the tournaments. He's the USA.
Yeah,
coach.
I'm just saying like when you say like from like a
No,
gold medal
and what I'm saying
standpoint.
is that I'm not really down with that.
Yeah.
Coach K.
Who is
come,
it now? Steve
do your
Kerr?
time.
I think so.
Because
Are
I
you
think
sure?
Greg Popovich was at last, right?
Coach,
I think
think-
Steve Kerr's been an assistant for a while.
Yeah, I think Steve Kerr might be the guy now. It's either him or Pop.
it is Stevie. It is
Okay.
Stevie K.
Even
That's what I
McQuaid?
thought. Mr. McQuaid?
It is Mr. McQuaid. Yes.
But
No, yeah. So I'm not
Yeah.
down with that, and I don't even really, because oh my god, and like yeah, it is harder than you think, because the other teams are really good.
Yeah.
But
most of them play in the NBA.
It is harder than you think. But I mean, come on, you're coaching LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Carmelo
Kevin Durant
and Dwight Howard
and-
and Kevin Durant and Kyrie
Yeah.
Irving and Jason Tatum. Like, this is not like, I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
it's not
You
like
just got to make sure they take it seriously, and you're gonna win.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I kind of have a problem with that. But yeah,
Other than that, that wraps up everything that we got to talk about today. So moving on to our
what
pick'ems.
is Norris Cole doing?
You mean
And
Heat
it's-
legend Norris Cole
Heat legend Norris Cole. I'll tell you what he's doing.
got his number retired by Cleveland State.
Did
Norris Cole?
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Did he?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
he
big
plays for
Viking.
J.L. Borg of the LNB Pro A.
C.
Oh no. He's a
Or
6'2" point guard. He is a
He's a
two-time
full-time
NBA
champion.
champion, winning back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013. No, yeah, I was just.
Shout out my guy Norris Cole. Loved him.
Yeah,
Love the high top. Miss it. But
plays in a France league.
yes. What's up?
So are the South Carolina Lady Cocks? I do not think they're a blue blood.
No, they're not blue blood.
Okay, good. I just
Nobody
wanted
was
to.
saying that they're blue
Okay,
blood.
I just
There's only one blue blood in women's basketball.
It's UConn.
No, in
And it's-
Tennessee.
Oh, it's Tennessee.
No, only one blue blood.
What
No,
do you
Tennessee.
mean?
You
Not
gotta get-
Tennessee.
UConn.
Yeah,
No,
it is Tennessee.
No. It's. I can't even say it with a straight face. I'm sorry.
Here, what's wrong with my?
No, I'm not gonna say
What
it.
is it?
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. It's fine. Whatever. Moving on.
I don't know. Sure.
Wrapping up the podcast. Games of the week. Because it is opening week, we got more baseball picks than we do any other ones. But to start first, we're starting in the NBA. Grizzlies at Nuggets, April 7th. Then you got the Suns at the Jabs, April 8th. Bucks at Cavs, April 10th. And then the Hawks at the Heat, April 8th as well. Who do we like? Grizzlies at Nuggets, April 7th. Who do we got? Will.
It's got to be the Grizz.
We're going the Grizz here. John, who do we like next?
I mean, give me the Grizzlies.
Give you the Grizzlies. Fear the Bear. Oh, sick 'em. Ryan, who do we like?
I'm going Nuggets.
Going.
Lame.
I'm going Grizzlies.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because you know what they say
What did they say?
about the porridge and the blonde chick?
I'm
It was three bears. It was three
Oh,
bears.
yeah,
It was three bears, one
It was
blonde chick.
3 bears.
One blonde chick decided to ruin it for all of us. It was
Yep.
3 bears. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, yepers.
Also,
And then,
never
oh, what were you
No,
going to
no,
say? What were you
go
going
on,
to say?
go on.
Drop it?
I was gonna say. I was gonna
Okay,
say.
okay. Suns at Jazz. Who do we like? Will,
I like the Suns.
give me the Suns. You feeling the burn?
I'm feeling the burn, baby.
I think a Sun burns up music. Give me the Sun.
I think the Sun burns up music as well. Ryan,
Suns.
we're going to Clint. We going sweeping, boys? We going sweeping?
We're going sweeping.
We're going sweeping.
Somebody get the broom.
Get the brooms. Next, we got the Bucks at the Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers, hometown team. By hometown, 2 hours away. Who do we like? Will, Bucks or Cavs?
Bam, Bucks.
Bucks. Banging on the Bucks train. John, who do we like?
The Cavs are back train is currently on pause.
At stop.
It's on pause.
Okay.
Give me the Bucks.
Give you the Bucks. Ryan,
Bucks as well.
give me the Cavs. I'm gonna take the Cavs. I think the Bucks will be resting a little bit. Maybe get that 4 seed locked up or 3 seed, whatever it is. But I can't see them, and I think the Cavs are still trying to fight to get out of that playing game. So I'm gonna take the Cavs. I think they're gonna try a little bit harder. And then the last game that we want to pick of the NBA, we got the Hawks at the Heat. Trey Dizzle and the Ice Gang. How do we like? Do we like the Hawks or do we like the Heatles?
We like the Heat.
Do we like the
It's
Heat?
not the Heatles with that.
Not the Heatles anymore. I know,
No,
but I'm
I know.
just
Well, don't call them
curious.
that.
But I'm just. I said I was trying. Who do we like the Heat?
Hawks bad, Heat good.
Hawks bad, Heat good. I think that simplifies it right there.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Heat.
Heat. Are we go? We going sweeping, boys? We going sweeping?
You have to sweep.
We going
You
sweeping.
gotta sweep
I'm
this
taking
one.
the Heat as well. It's always sunny in Miami. That's all I gotta say. Speaking of which, Bulls look to move a step closer to clinching a playoff berth when they take on the Bucks, tipping off at ESPN. In case you were wondering. And now at ESPN.
Are we sure UCLA is a blue blood?
We're not going back on that. We're on the pick'ems. We're on the pick'ems, damn it.
Dude,
They're 100% a blue blood.
11 titles, 10 of them
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Pull it.
80 years ago. They've only been to 2 other tournament championship games, and only one of them in the 21st century. I mean, they had a 3-year run, 06, 07, 08, where they went to the Final Four. Only one time did they advance. And then they went to the Final Four in 2021. Other than if you just take those like that one span, they're totally unimportant.
I totally agree. Who do you like, Red Sox or Yankees?
I like the Yankees.
Taking the Yankees, April 7th.
I'm just saying, compared to
Do
these
you
other-
like the Red Sox? We're not doing this. Red Sox or Yankees? Who do we like?
Give me Garrett Cole and the Yankees.
Give you the Cole and the boys. Ryan, I have to assume you're picking the Yankees, seeing how you are a diehard Yankees fan. Yankees. Give me the Sox. Give me the Sox. Trevor Story and the boys are gonna get the boys
Red
right.
Sox or White Sox?
Red Sox. There's only one Sox, and it's the red. All right. The
There's
White
kinda
Sox.
2 of them.
The White Sox can suck my ass.
Wow,
They can suck my ass.
that's kind of gross.
Suck my ass.
You're gonna
Guardians at Royals, April 7th. Shane Biebs versus Zach Greinke. Who do we like?
We like the Royals.
We like the Royals. Are we feeling royal? Or are we feeling like a Guardian?
They will always be royal.
They will
Or whatever
always
the
be
song
royal.
is. Give me the Royals.
Be Royals.
Yeah. Good pitching matchup though. That'll be
Great, but yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Right,
Especially
the Royals-
Shane coming back after injury will be interesting.
Yeah.
Ryan, do we like the Royals or we like the
Royals.
Guardians? Royals it is. Give it to me. Give me the colors. I love Royals as well. Clean sweep. Next, we have our good friends, the Reds, at the Braves. I think I'm going to speak for all of us here. I can't imagine the Reds are going to pull this one out. I'm going to say we all probably picked the Braves.
Yes, I picked the Braves.
Yes,
Braves,
of course I did.
Braves. Ryan, Braves.
Braves.
I figured that would be pretty much. Reds aren't very good. Next, we got the hometown cooking for me. Astros at the Angels. April 7th, you got Shohei Ohtani on the mound versus the franchise and Framber Valdez. Who do we like? I'm taking the Astros. Will, who you taking?
Astros.
Astros?
I am taking the Angels.
Taking the Angels? You like Shohei there?
I love Shohei. He's probably my favorite player to not play for any of my teams currently in sports.
Mm-hmm. He's up there. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
He's a lot of
Shohei,
fun.
he's fun to
I would
watch.
love him a lot more if he wasn't in the AL West. You know?
Did you say well?
He said the Astros.
I said the Astros.
So, yeah, give me
Astros will be winning.
Give me the Angels. I wonder if. So how's he gonna hit now? Oh wait,
He
never.
can do it. He can
never
do it
mind.
now.
Yeah,
They changed that rule. He
So-
can pitch. He can. They called it the Shohei Ohtani rule. They literally called it that. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that in
So
the MLB or if that's just a AAA. But
okay. Well,
will be interesting.
I'm still taking the
Angels.
Yeah.
Ryan, who do you like?
Stros.
Give me the Stros, boys. Next, Rangers at Blue Jays. Both teams basically, Blue Jays got more stacked. Rangers reinvented themselves. Who do we like? Do we like the Jays or the Rangers?
We like the Jays.
We like the Jays. Do we like the Jays or the Rangers?
Give me the Jays. Both made great additions in the offseason, but give me the Jays.
Give me the Jays. I'm taking the Jays as well. They lost a Cy Young pitcher in Robbie Ray, but they picked up Kevin Guzman from the Giants, who I think is going to be good for him as well. And the Rangers didn't fix their pitching issues, I feel like. They got great on offense, but outside of that, give me the Jays. Ryan, Jays or Rangers?
Blue Jays.
Taking the Jays. Got a clean
Another
sweep.
Sweep.
And then now we got probably one of the more exciting teams in baseball this year. We got the Mariners at the Twins, April 9th. Will, who do we like?
Mariners versus Twins?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Twins.
Going with the Twins. John, who do we like?
Give me the Mariners.
Give you the Mariners, Robbie Ray, adding Eugenio Suarez, Jesse Winker, adding some boys there. Ryan, who do we like? We like the Mariners or do we
Suarez
like
is
the
not a
Twins?
boy.
I'm gonna go Twins.
You're going Twins? Ryan's going Twins. Got to change that.
Suarez.
And then give me the Twins as well. I think Carlos Correa is a great addition. Byron Buxton's probably going to stay healthy this year. And you got Gio and you got some of the new guys in there as well. So I think I'm taking the Twins as well. And I think that might not make us twins. That might make us triplets against Ryan and against the Mariners and the boys.
I will say betting against Suarez is probably a good bet. He's
You're
terrible.
not good on it, but that wraps up our pick'ems. Thank you so much for picking with us, and let us know how you do on our pick'ems as well. We'll post that to our Twitter. Give us some feedback, what you like, what you don't like. And Ryan, are you ready for the 2-minute drill?
I got a timer this week.
Ooh, we got a timer. Where's that? Where's that point?
It's gonna be right above your head. Give me a second though, because I need to.
They'll never be
Royals. I was really hoping we get a quartet going there.
Did you know Western Kentucky is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, top 7 winning percentage in NCAA Division I men's college basketball history?
Yeah.
I think that's a blue blood.
Roll toppers, baby.
Roll
toppers.
Kentucky.
That
Hilltoppers.
is a blue blood.
Hilltoppers?
Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers. Is
Hilltop
Kentucky
of the world.
hilly?
When are we gonna make a trip to EA Diddle Arena?
There's no way that's not.
It is
The Diddle Arena?
EA Diddle Arena.
Ooh, we should. Yeah, we need a field trip.
Where'd you take your girlfriend last night? I took her to Diddle Arena. I'm sorry, what'd you do with my daughter? Diddle Arena. Did you diddle her in Diddle Arena? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Do we have it ready?
Okay.
Do we have it ready? Should I point? Should I not point? Should Will point? Should we all point?
It's gonna be right above your head.
In 5.
Okay. Are you ready?
You guys ready?
I'm ready. Lay it on me, baby. Quick hitters. Ryan's 2-minute drill. Ryan, whenever you're ready, you can start the timer.
Timer starting now.
Okay, go.
All right. Are Mad Max and DeGrom the best 2-punch in baseball?
Not if they don't play at the same time.
I also agree. If they're both going to be injured, they're not the best 2-punch in baseball.
Yes.
They are?
Yes, they're the best.
Oh, God, that's terrible. Go on.
All right. LeBron James, leading the league in scoring, still has no MVP love, as normal. Does he need love or no?
Not when the Lakers are ass.
Not when the Lakers are ass?
MVP love, no. Kevin Love, yes.
I say he does need MVP love. When Steph Curry was doing it 2 years ago and their team was ass, everybody was praising him. So I say yes, he needs love.
All right. Tyreek Hill traded the Dolphins for a ton of picks and got paid. Who will miss paid? He'll miss is Patty or what?
Will Patty miss Tyreek Hill, or will Tyreek Hill miss Pat?
Tyreek Hill is going to be missing Pat Mahomes because Tua is.
What do you think? Tyreek misses?
Eric said it right.
I personally think Patty misses Tyreek more. Tyreek was Old Faithful for Patty, so I think Patty misses him more. Juju Smith-Schuster's not replacing
He's
him.
going to miss him, not as much as Tyreek Hill is going to miss.
Stop it! Go.
All right. Masters week. Who do we like in the Masters? I know you guys are avid golfers and golf watchers, so.
Anybody but Tiger.
Give me Rom.
Jack Nicklaus.
What?
All right, next question. UConn women's basketball coach Gino lost his first ever natty, being in the.
And being in the national championship.
He was 11-0 in championship games.
Damn!
Was he the GOAT for women's coaches? Yes or no?
Well, yeah, he's the GOAT for women's coaches.
I don't know. Pat's up there.
I think.
Dude, he has 11.
I'm just saying Pat's up there.
I mean,
Pat's up there.
Pat's too, sure.
I mean, yours kind of sounds like we want to give it to a chick.
No, it's not giving it a pick.
That's-
If you say the greatest female, we made it, right? We made the time.
Oh, yeah.
We made the time.
5 seconds left right now.
Oh, I'm just saying, if we had to say greatest coaches of women's basketball history, Pat and Gina are definitely one.
They're like top
But-
two.
Yeah, but nobody's
and-
arguing that she's 2. She's just not 1.
No, 11 natties is pretty fucking gross.
Listen, Patty,
Patty is 2.
Patty, God rest her soul,
Yeah, God.
is
Yeah.
2.
We
And
would-
Gino's 1.
Look.
It's 1, 2, and then the Notre Dame coach is like down here.
Yeah, you know how
Like the
much I
Baylor
hate
coach.
Tennessee. I would love Patty on this if she was still alive.
Bowles?
I get Patty on the program.
I would love to have her.
Get Patty on the show.
You can't get Patty on the show. You can't get Patty on the show.
Yeah, and
Hey,
you're not
first of
getting
all-
John Denver on the show. either.
First of all, shout out John Denver, shout out
R.I.P.
Patty, and shout out Kobe Bryant. They're all dead.
Shout out John Wick to a new mic.
John,
Yeah,
new
new
mic, crispy mic. A lot of pods are coming. We're getting a new space. We're renting it out. It's gonna be coming.
Yeah, we're
in
gonna have an
months.
office.
We're gonna have an office. We're gonna have a lot of new things coming. So thank you for hanging out. But on a real note, thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. That is the end of our show. Be a friend, tell a friend, share, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things that we ask you to do. Check us out on Twitter, interact with us. We really appreciate it, and we love hanging out with you. John, do you have anything to say to the people before we let them go?
Yeah, this is the Kansas Jayhawk podcast.
Kansas Jayhawk podcast.
Love my Jayhawk.
Can I get a rock chalk?
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
All right, Will, what do we got to say to the
Hey,
boys?
I reject the Kansas fandom. I wanted them to win, but
Reject
this
man.
side of the podcast is not a Jayhawk podcast.
Not a Jayhawk
Now,
podcast.
last thing I have to say is, do you guys like these glasses? What do you think? Leave a comment.
Let them know. And also,
Subscribe.
is UCLA a blue blood? Let us know. We're not having this
Yeah,
argument again.
let us know.
Ryan, anything to say to people before we let them go?
Go Masters week, babe.
Go Masters Week. The last thing I got to say is happy opening weekend.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I have to bring something else.
Oh, no.
Bring it up. Bring it up right
Do
now.
we have time?
About to be
I
quick.
got time.
I might not be quick.
What are you going to bring up?
I don't want to blue ball you guys on this topic.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
Okay, what is the best month in sports?
Best month in sports? Find out next week. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
No!